Tammy, can you hear me?
Hi, I can.
Good morning.
Take two.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I know Christa is getting on like right as we speak. There
Yes.
she is. Christa. Christa.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I just can't get enough of either one of you.
And we can't get enough of you either, Patrick.
Oh, God bless you. All right, gang. So we're here for the regional managers. You guys work around the clock, 7 days a week, and no one knows who you guys are, except maybe Gina, because you both work out of Florida. So this gives us an opportunity to introduce Tammy and Christa, our two internet sales specialists, and kind of get to know you just a little bit better. I'm going to try my hardest to do this in 10 or maybe 12 minutes. No further ado, let's get right on into it. These questions are for both of you. Christa, why don't you kick it off? Tell us how long you've been working for Hometown America, and give us a little brief background on what you were doing prior to joining our company.
Okay. So hi, I'm Christa Payne, and I've been with Hometown America now for 2.5 years. And my work experience, I've been in phone sales for 18 years. And I worked for a client, American Express, and I did cold outbound call calling, selling American Express accounts. And that's where I get the majority of my experience from. Prior to here, I worked for an investment firm, and I made cold outbound calls to the market in Canada and set up appointments for the sales agent there. Cool. And then now I'm here.
Awesome. And what do you do for fun?
So for fun, I'm into decorating. I love decorating. So my home is just all kinds of weird. It's got all kinds of things going on. And then I have a 4-year-old little girl, and she takes up a lot of my fun time. So we do a lot of things like go to the state parks, because there's tons of them around here.
Awesome.
So that keeps me busy.
I bet. So tell the group what days and times you work.
So I work typically Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, and then Tammy and I rotate Saturdays, and then so every other week I'll work a Saturday.
Gotcha. All right. Well, fantastic. And of course, we appreciate everything that you do for us. Tammy, let's turn it to you. Tell us, when did you join? How long have you been on? And what were you doing prior? And what do you do for fun?
Sure. So I joined Hometown America in January of 2018. So about 1.5 years I've been here.
The mic, just speak up just a little bit.
Oh, sure. Can you hear me
Sorry.
better? Can you hear me better?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Prior to working at Hometown, I worked at Disney for over 20 years and the Ritz-Carlton for 5 years. So I come from the hospitality, tourism industry. I did a lot of hotel sales. And for fun, my daughter and I have Disney annual passes, so we spend a lot of time at the theme parks or the beach.
Awesome. I turned up my volume. I think you were fine there with the volume. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so big question for you both. What is your number one responsibility in ISS?
To set appointments.
All right, set appointments. Okay, absolutely. That's our number one goal, is to take all these digital leads every day and drive them to a dialogue and ultimately an appointment. So, Christa, tell us, one of our secrets to success is what we call the rule of 7. Tell us about the rule of 7 in that protocol.
Sure. So when we have a new lead that comes in, we make sure to touch that lead at least 7 times. And so once a week, they'll get an email from us, to help try to generate a 50-50 dialogue, get them engaged. So, based on a lot of the sales, experience that you have, the 7 rule of thumb is pretty successful. And since we've started utilizing that, I believe that's true.
So basically, whether it's the phone or an email, you guys will take within 12 hours or less of an incoming digital lead, and you guys will initiate that rule of 7 communication attempts. About how many days in between communication attempts?
7.
7. All right. So theoretically, in roughly 50 or so days, we've actually gone through that whole protocol, correct?
That's correct.
So what happens at the end of, let's say, day 50, or in other words, that 7th communication attempt, either by way of phone or email? And if we've got both, we'll do a combination. But what happens at the end if we don't get two-way dialogue?
So we understand that a lot of people are doing their homework, and we don't want to forget about them after the 7th attempt, right? So all of those leads will filter into our ISS colds database, cold sales. And then we make sure to continue to reach out to them at least once a month so that they still know that we're interested in them, to continue to try to generate, the 50-50 dialogue.
So basically, you're telling me that we have actually 2 databases at the ISS department.
That's correct.
So we've got the main database, which are all those digital leads that are somewhere in between that rule of 7, correct?
Correct. That's right.
And then we've got this other database, which we call cold storage, which basically they're cold leads that we just, for whatever reason, haven't been able to get dialogue within those 7 communication attempts. And those leads actually automatically move into that cold lead storage area.
Yes, that's right.
And then religiously once a month, we typically send an e-blast.
Right.
So when you joined us, part of the initiative with getting you on board was, hey, we're going to tackle the telephone. We're going to triple down on the telephone. Tell us roughly how many calls you make each month, and what's that? What do we try to do? What does your week, and Chris's, your week look like when it comes to the phone call?
Well, Christa and I rotate days each week, so each of us have a day just dedicated to phone calls. You can make anywhere, depending on the conversations, anywhere from 60 to 90 phone calls on your dedicated day. And
Awesome.
I'd say on a non-phone day, we're making at least 20, 25 calls.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's not your dedicated phone day doesn't mean we're not using the phone.
Right.
Yeah. I love that you both have zero telephone, what is it called? The fear of the phone, telephobia or whatever.
Right.
All right.
No telephone phobia.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely not.
So basically, both of you, 2 days a week, you guys are on the phone 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yes.
Correct.
And how do you tackle that phone? How do you stay organized?
I go by community.
Yep.
And I sort it by next contact once I've sorted it by community.
Yep.
And then you can actually sort it by who just has phone numbers.
Yeah.
And weed out people who don't. So that makes it very efficient.
Yeah, perfect.
And then I focus,
No.
I focus on the newer leads, the leads that, have come in recently. And I try to focus on those because I think that they're hot and a lot of people really enjoy that, phone conversation versus receiving an email. So that's how I do mine.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Very good. Bottom line is you guys are plugging away 400 to 500 calls a month. Attempts. You get a lot
Yes.
of voicemails, but nonetheless, you guys are literally picking up that phone, dialing the digits 400 to 500 times a piece a month. That's a lot. Tammy, tell us, what's the deal with transferring leads? This is really, really strategic to our success. Talk to us about transferring leads.
Absolutely. So once we make our initial contact with a lead, whether by phone or email, if we speak to them on the telephone or we get an email back from them, now our main goal is to set the appointment. That doesn't always happen, but it's still a hot lead, and we get it over to the community. So we transfer the lead to the community queue, and we let the sales agent know that this is a hot lead, and hopefully they can really use their expertise and get them to come in.
How do you let the sales agent know that you just deposited a hot lead into their database?
Either by phone or email.
Phone and email.
Or text, yeah.
Or text. All right, fantastic. One of the challenges that you guys have told me about recently, Christa, talk to us about setting appointments and also transferring hot leads that need ASAP follow-up by the sales agent. What's that challenge that we seem to wrestle with?
Sure. So I always like to create urgency. If I can, love to set a same day or a next day appointment. And so what can be challenging is if it's a sales agent that is not using their calendar, you're not really sure if they're
You just hit mute.
all right.
There
So
you go. You hit mute.
no, somebody was calling in.
Oh.
But it can be difficult to, set an appointment and guarantee that the sales agent is going to be available. So
Right.
if I can't tell that they're available, I can't set a same day appointment. I'll have to move it to the next day, which is still good. But then sometimes you're not able to guarantee that the sales agent is receiving, that email letting them know that they have an appointment. And so it's kind of risky.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that someone's showing up to an empty sales office.
Right. And problem can be eliminated if we could get everybody to use the Outlook calendar. I can't believe in 2019, not everybody is putting all their appointments, including their vacations, on that Outlook calendar. We have access to that calendar, don't we? We can't see the details of the appointments, but we can see if the time slot's been blocked out, right? So we
That's
have access to everybody's calendar, right?
Right.
So one of the things the regional managers might be able to help us out with is kind of beating that drum. Hey guys, use your Outlook calendar. Put your vacations in there. Put your own appointments in there. Internet sales won't see the detail, but we'll just see that there's an appointment blocked out so that we won't double down on an appointment. Simple as that, right?
That's right.
Okay. All right, great. All right, so let's see. What about the scripting? So this is something we've really emphasized right at the beginning of the year. I know the scripting was tough for both of you initially. Give me some feedback, either one of you, on the appointment setting scripting, as well as the common questions that we get asked, and being able to answer those questions candidly, precisely, but without getting into the weeds, because we don't want to sell the steak. We just want to sell the sizzle. So we've scripted. Talk to me about your success with the scripts.
So I have found the scripts to be very successful because it really helps to keep you focused. It's really easy to get carried away and go on a tangent, but this really helps to keep you focused. And it helps because there are a lot of questions that you've presented to us that are the most common questions. And then you can start focusing on those questions and come back with really good, dialogue regarding that specific question. And I try to stay away from questions, deep questions, because I want the sales agent to present to them all of the details. So I let them know that I am there to set an appointment. I have a little bit of knowledge, but they'll gain a lot more knowledge on the appointment. So I try to keep it at that and keep it simple.
Yeah. Do you find that it helps set more appointments for you?
I do.
You-
Because I'm not giving them as much information as they initially thought they were going to get, right?
Right.
So they can learn a lot more on the appointment.
Yeah.
And so they look at me as the, the appointment setter,
Right.
and not so much the girl with all of the knowledge. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, I don't have all the specific knowledge on every community. So
Yeah.
I find that this works well.
Yeah. What about you, Tammy? Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I like the script. Now, to be honest, it doesn't always happen word for word. Sometimes you go where the conversation takes you. But the most important points of the script I try to convey, like they really need to see it in person to appreciate the full lifestyle package that we're offering.
Love it.
And to understand why the community fee is what it is, because it's going to include everything for them.
Right.
And then as long as I'm trying to ask them at least 3 times, yeah, I find it successful.
All right. Nice job. Talk to us about community preference and sorting by community preference. Tammy, talk to us about this prospect manager feature.
Well, sure. And that comes in handy and probably our number one tool most when we have a grand opening. For example, we just had one at Angola Beach Estates recently. So Christa and I can go in and e-blast our entire database just for the Angola Beach leads and let them know about the open house.
Yep.
And that's why it's really important that we know about open houses, because we have all these leads at our fingertips that we can let them all know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge that we're able to at least 3 weeks in advance know about an open house. Then you guys can double and triple down on your database simultaneous to the sales agent double downing on his or her database, trying to really ramp up a lot of open house traffic.
Absolutely.
A grand opening event or whatever. So great thing for regional managers also to beat that drum. Hey, the moment we know about an open house, let internet sales know about the open house. Same thing with maybe inventory. If we run out of inventory, or if we get a whole bunch of inventory in, it would be beneficial just for you guys to get an email saying, "Hey, here's what we've got." Would you agree on that, or how?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, this works really well for new listings for sure.
New listings. Yeah, gotcha. All right, well, we're right at our mark. Tell us really quick your number one challenge and what you love about working for Hometown America. So, Christa, take us away with this.
So I would have to say my number one challenge is not being able to make as many phone calls as I would like to, because there is so much going on. It would be so nice if I could squeeze in even more phone calls than I do. So that would be my number one challenge. But what I will say is, now that you've made things so much more efficient with our database, we are able to do a lot more than what we've ever done before, and it is exciting. It's exciting to feel like you're a little bit more in control over our huge database that we have. So that, I guess, would be my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I hear you. What do you love?
What I love is that it is challenging. There's so many different parts, so many different things that we do, and it just keeps you going. And I love being able to find, help people find their new home. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, awesome. Great job. Well, we appreciate all your hard work and effort.
Thank you.
What's your challenge? What do you love?
My number one challenge, I think, is I always trying to top myself from the previous month as far as setting appointments and home sales. But then definitely a daily challenge for me is keeping my database up to date with close to 7,000 leads we have in total. and that'll keep you busy.
You betcha.
And what I love is I've been able to apply my skills to this industry and not knowing much about it. Patrick, you've just been a great mentor. You've spent a few days over here with me just answering all the questions that I have. I appreciate all the classes and the training we get, and it's just been a great experience.
Awesome. Well, again, we appreciate what you've delivered, Tammy. Both of you have done such a great job. I can't wait to share some data with the regional managers up to date, up to the last minute data on results, closings, appointments, all the good stuff. Ladies, keep doing the phenomenal job you're doing. Thanks so much. And go out and set the appointment.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.